Everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your daily reading. It's Friday. Don't you love Fridays? Every week seems like Christmas on a Friday. Um, Firstly, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for your beautiful words of support and love and for your continued loyalty to my page. Um, Okay, what do we want to talk about? First off, let's get the scammers out the way because they are all over everywhere at the moment. Whether they are in the form of spell makers, whether they're going to fix your broken relationship, whether they're going to bring somebody back for you, please do be careful. I'm not saying that you can't choose to go with these people. I'm saying they're riding on the back of my page for a reason. And that's because they can't do it themselves. That in itself is really unethical, but like I've said all week, I've watched them all over the place and countries losing millions of dollars where people are being sucked in by scams. They get better and better. I heard one the other day and I thought this guy was quite intelligent. Like I didn't understand how he could have missed the scam, but he did. So I think people get caught up in the emotion of it all, and before they know it, they're being scammed. And he and his wife lost quite a lot of money. Whatever it is, please be careful. Use your intuition. Go and get a reading with somebody you know is going to be good. If you're not sure, ask somebody. I am more than happy to recommend good people to you. If you're wanting someone and you don't resonate with me, then flick me an email and I'll put you onto somebody else. But if you're getting something that looks like it's coming from me, I'm telling you now it's not. So let's hope anybody who's on my pages knows. And I know the people who've been with me a long time do, but they've even tried to approach my relatives who are on my pages too. So I do get a lot of that feedback. So be careful. Check out your sources. Be smart. Ask them if you can contact them. Ask if you can. That's not always good either because often they have stuff all set up for that. So but definitely find some way of checking it all out. Google it. I've done that before when I've had an email from somebody. I don't even respond to emails I don't know. I don't open anything, and everything I investigate. If I think it could be legitimate, then I ring the body itself. So if I get, say, an email from the bank, then I actually get off that email and ring the bank and ask them if they've got scammers around. Alrighty, if you want a personal reading with me, you can find me by emailing me only. That is the only way I can be contacted. I only have one email address, and that is theausiegoddess, all one word, @gmail.com. Yeah, and just let me know. I do a variety of readings to suit you, so just let me know and I'll send back a bit of a list of what readings I provide. Alrighty, we're going to use the Modern Witch Tarot for this reading today, which sort of looks like that. Okay, so we're starting off with the Chariot. So the Chariot is the card of Cancer, represents the sign of Cancer. And I always say the Chariot is a card that wants forward movement. It wants to move you forward. It signifies forward movement, but at the moment it's not moving. You always check out here what is happening. And we have two sphinxes here who are utterly at a standstill. This means that there needs to be some sort of putting everything on the same page before you can move forward. So your intentions or whatever are divided. They're going in opposite directions and the Chariot can't move forward until you've got them both aligned. So the idea is the universe saying to you, you are about to move forward, you've got an opportunity to move forward, but in order to do that, you've got to maybe make up your mind between two directions, make up your mind between two things, or just align what you're thinking. So if your thinking is going backwards and forwards between two good things that are both equally as good, then that in itself will block you. So you've got to be really clear when you're manifesting or when you're asking for something from the universe, that you know exactly the direction you want to go in. Okay, so we have the Emperor. Now he has made lots of appearances this week. This is the card of Aries. The Emperor is a card that talks about divine masculinity. It can be a person, it can be an attribute or a part of you. If you're in your divine masculinity, it could be that you are really driven at the moment, you're very logical in your mindset, and you may be creating from a place of logical thought. Like it could be in regards to a job. Maybe you have two jobs coming through for you here. You have your mindset on one job because it pays more money, because it's more reliable, whatever. And the other job may be something you've always wanted to do. And that's sort of your creative side, for example. So you may be divided like that. Sometimes it can mean a person. We do find that the divine masculine, yeah, I'd say here it is a person because we do have a fire sign behind that. So we're looking at somebody here that you are maybe trying to make your mind up over. Maybe they have a mix of attributes or a mix of ways that you see them that maybe they don't always gel. Oh, I wonder. My stomach just fell when I said that. All right, let's just take this for example. You've met somebody and they have red flags, or they have just probably maybe one red flag or two red flags, and you're confused. Once you become more awakened and more aware, you will understand how those red flags present themselves. So maybe you are being cluey enough now to know that you're dealing with somebody who has a lot of narcissistic energy or narcissistic traits, or maybe they're a bit controlling. You know, I remember somebody saying to me once they went out for dinner with someone and the person ordered their meal for them. Red flag. There could be somebody who just constantly likes what you like and constantly is on the same page as you, and it starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like here you may be dealing with somebody that is, it could be a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius. Don't sit too hard on that because it could be just somebody who's got a fiery nature. But I feel like whoever this person is, there is an energy here that this person could be either somebody you work with, somebody that you see as very attractive, somebody you want to be with, but maybe things aren't quite sort of as you feel they should be. And I look at the Seven of Wands, and that's exactly, I'm feeling you need to sort of sit back a little bit and have a look at this person and ask yourself, are they being true to who they're meant to be? If you're unsure, Google red flags. Have a look at all that. Like, check it out, especially if you've had situations before where you've met toxic people, or you've got toxic people in your family, toxic people around you. Sometimes we become very confused by toxic behavior. But I feel like I'm speaking to somebody here who may have recently met someone, or maybe in contact with somebody, but not seeing, or just feeling, gut feeling here, that this person just isn't quite where you want them to be. So it may not be anything too obvious, but things may not sit well with you. Now, for example, a lot of us have done the narcissistic personality. When you meet them, they seem to love everything you do. You think you have so much in common with them. You know, everything about them makes you feel like you've met someone for the first time and you're totally in love with them. Once you're with them, they don't like anything you do. They completely want to do their own thing. So you need to be careful that what you're doing here is finding out whether this person is true. And look at this energy that's coming through here. Rightio. So to me, it feels like you've encountered something that you think or feel is really good. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. A lot of the time when I do the readings, people will come back and say, you know, this is my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, this is a friend, this is somebody at work, whatever. There is somebody here who is making you feel a little uneasy with this relationship. And maybe because you're becoming more awakened, you're becoming more aware, possibly you're picking up on things now that you've not seen before. Narcissistic personality disorder is one end of the scale, but some people can have most of those traits and not be classed as somebody who's got that personality. Things to look out for. They won't say sorry. They will never say sorry to you. It will always be your fault. There will always be blame. They will be controlling. They want things done their way, and they will manipulate you to get the control. Sometimes they're very covert in how they do that. Like, the manipulation may be very subtle. They will make you feel guilty. No matter what you try to do, you will feel guilty. What else? They'll love bomb you. So they will constantly send you messages or, you know, really do the love bombing thing. Now, I say to you, don't just take one of those red flags. If it's only one of those red flags, then maybe you're just dealing with somebody who's learned a really poor behavior. But they will know how to manipulate. They know when they're talking to you, and if you're listening to somebody else do it, it will sound like horns blaring, I tell you now. So do your homework. Do your homework. You do not want to get conned into something that you don't want to be a part of. And I feel like this is how you're feeling here. All right, so we have the Five of Swords, narcissist energy, the devil energy coming through, 10 of Swords coming through. You're turning your back and walking away from something. I feel with that Queen of Pentacles, you may have started understanding how to love and respect yourself. Some of these people come across so beautiful. You think all your dreams have come true. This person will offer you the world, and they want to marry you. They'll say, oh, you're the type of person I want to marry. Let's get married. Let's, you know, do this soon. The sooner they have you hooked, the better. So this is why I say to people, take your time with dating people. All right, so we have the Queen of Cups. I feel like you could be dealing with a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. You could be dealing with somebody here at work. Could be a boss, a manager, somebody you work with who's giving you all of the cues to you being the most wonderful person in the world. And believe me, bosses, people who own organizations, they all do it. They get in your pocket, they tell you all the wonderful things, and before you know it, there's something horrible following that through. Okay, so I have the Nine of Pentacles. So you are, I feel like you're making some sort of, this is beautiful, some sort of decision to go with your own gut feeling, because I see you turning your back on someone here or walking away from someone because you've seen their true colors. I don't know that it's evident to all of you at the moment, or whether you're just on the journey of learning about your own empathy, but protect your own energy, because they see you and they're drawn to you like moths to a flame. They see you there. They know they want you. You glow, you're open, you're generous, you're kind, you're all the things that they want in a person. By the time they finish with you, you'll be just almost, look, they talk about energy vampires, and I always think that's the best way to do it. If you've watched a vampire movie, after a vampire's finished eating you and you're just skin and bone, that's what you feel like when they've done the job. Easiest things to understand, they don't like planning for the future. They have very little empathy. They don't know how to say sorry because they believe in their own mind they're always right. Now, that's very basic. You can do your own homework. The controlling thing will be quite evident right from the get-go. All right, we have the Judgment card here. I'm going to pull some more cards here. I feel like here you're confused about moving forward with someone. They may come across as very attractive, very intelligent, whatever it is, but I feel like here something just doesn't ring right with you. It just doesn't feel right. It feels confusing. You're not really sure how this person is or how they feel. So when they do turn around and say, I think I'm falling in love with you, after a week, you'll be thinking and feeling that just can't be possible. Nobody could fall in love with someone that quickly. Let's face it, in a week of dating, you're hardly able to show some aspects of yourself, really. So you may be swept up in this. It could be somebody, as I said, that you have around you, a friend. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but I feel like you've probably watched enough YouTube videos. You've probably had enough information. You've probably been curious enough to look stuff up, because I feel like here you have a bit of knowledge, but you're trying to put things into perspective. But I feel like you're walking away from somebody here. Eight of Pentacles, I feel like it's somebody at work. With the Magician, the High Priestess, oh my goodness, the Justice card. There you go. So I'm feeling here that you are meeting somebody. For some of you, this will be romantic, or you've already met someone who is meant to be on your path to mirror something back to you. The High Priestess, Magician, and the Eight of Pentacles makes me feel like you've worked very hard on your own intuition. You really are understanding it. Perhaps you've done it before. You are really understanding the tricks now. It's really interesting, because I remember when I first started becoming very aware of you know, the types of people that seem to find their way to me, and I started learning what questions to ask. There are a couple of people on the internet that do a lot of work around this. So if you're unsure or you want to, I'd say Google the narcissism, narcissistic traits, controlling behavior, especially covert narcissism, because that doesn't really it doesn't really show up as well as overt. And there are several different types of that narcissistic behavior. So you could be dealing with any one of any of them. So what I want to say to you is there is nothing worse than having a well or a knowledgeable empath. But they will find their way to you, definitely. All right, so I feel like you have to watch yourself at the moment. I feel like you may be getting a lesson here on how to spot the person you do not want to be with, the toxic person, the abusive person. And sometimes, stupidly enough, we can do it several times before we understand. So, what is going on there? All right, let's read you an oracle card. Oh, and there it is. Time to go. Okay, so I'm just going to read that one. The number is 45, which of course is the number 9, so that might be very relevant to you today. 47, 44, making me work for it today. Endings, completion, walking away from something because there is nothing else to experience or learn. So you are at the end of one journey and have not yet begun the next. This is the moment to bless your experience thus far. Take stock of what you've learned. It's time to move on to new experiences and a new way of being. There is nothing left for you to do or experience in your present circumstances. I don't even need to say any more than that. I feel like you're going to learn something here and you're going to feel very good about being able to get yourself out of a situation before you get too far in. All right, my love to you all. Capricorn reading coming up soon. Thank you.